Welcome back. We would love to welcome Victoria Von Blaque, owner of Femme Fatale LLC and D&I expert. Victoria, thank you so much for joining us. Can you please tell us and our audience just a little bit about yourself and what you do with regards to diversity and inclusion?
Well, thank you for having me. I've been in this for at least 10 years. I started out as being the first BBW trans porn star because there was no inclusion. There was, it came at a time where it was all about skinny, blonde, white girls with big boobs. I mean, got big boobs, but and not blonde. So I dated someone who's in the industry who was like, there's a niche here that you could fill very easily. And I did, and came with the different hurdles of forcing my way into something where it's usually being fetishized in the closet or in the shadows where people are not, it's cool to see you in the dark, but please don't let me see you outside type team. So it was like, you know what, we're smart, we're talented, we deserve to be seen. And so now we're fighting our way and keeping going, and hopefully, and just by being a Black trans woman, it is just like, I'm literally just a definition of a revolution. Like, my very existence makes people uncomfortable, and for good reason, because it makes them have to look at the patriarchy and how they see people and how they do not want to see just Black women in general. Forget the trans part, but like, they don't want to see Black women in general succeed. So I'm here to keep that train going, I hope.
I love it. A bona fide queen through and through. I love it. So obviously you've been in this space for a very long time. Can you tell us how should people respond to the lack of diversity? I mean, it's one thing to identify it, it's one thing to respond to it. What are some advice you could give to someone that's struggling with that kind of, I guess, environment?
Doing social work as well, I would say ask yourself, why? Why are you uncomfortable? Why is this impacting you? Like, if it has nothing to do with you and you don't feel like you might be part of the problem, it should fly. Like, all right, cool, it's something and so be it. How they should respond? They should encourage. And I don't mean just a happy word on, pat on the back and be like, you know what? You should go do this. Encourage with your mind, your wallet, and your words. Let that follow through, because there are a lot of creatives in this world. And like, this week is Trans Awareness Week. And there are so many brilliant Black and brown and every color, but Black and brown specifically, we do not have the same opportunities that our white counterparts have. So allowing us and pushing us to the forefront. And even if you do support us financially, don't take up so much space. It's like, yes, you did a great job. You prove that you're an ally and not just tokenizing us to a certain extent. But like, take a back seat. Most likely you've done a lot. You've gotten a lot of recognition. You've gotten a lot of, accolades. Allow someone else to shine. And I think there's been a big lack of representation in the gaming industry because of that. Like, I can name probably 5 of my homegirls who love video games like a diehard and would love to see more representation of us in these video games, to the point where we're even thinking about starting our own situation, just because there isn't enough. Like, I can't remember the name of it, but there's a dating sim coming out where it's nothing but Black and brown queer people in this game, which is like, it's sad to say that in 2020, in this shitty ass year that we're living in, this is the first one. And even then, they were struggling to get money to make this
Wow.
dream come true. So I would like to see more of us, and I'm doing my best to get with all my sisters and my brothers to like, let's get this out. Let's get this content out. It's great that we love, I love the PlayStation. Even though mine just died on me recently.
Oh.
Gonna have a funeral. But I love the PlayStation. I love gaming. And I feel like, I would love to see more of myself.
So
Someone who
what do you,
looks and sounds.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just going to ask what you think it's going to take for companies to begin putting more representation in their games, or also what can maybe white cisgender allies do to help trans folks and people of color within the gaming industry?
I hope it doesn't even get to that, because I feel like to get there, it means you're gonna have to be shamed. Because obviously, like I said, gaming has been around for decades, and yet we don't have it. And it's like I don't want to have to like knock on Blizzard. Shout out, Blizzard's like one of my favorite. But like knock on it and be like, why is there no trans representation in fucking Diablo? Why can't we get some in the new Baldur's Creek? Because, it's sad that in a game like All of Us, where the main character is lesbian, if I make no mistake, that there was such an outcry about the possibility of someone being trans there. Like, and if I make no mistake, the person was white. So I was like, if there was that much of an outcry for a white trans person, I could only imagine like what would come back. Like, oh, you're trying to take up space and, you're ruining the franchise and stuff. No, we're just making it better. Because now more people would come and be like, you know what? Maybe they're here for us. Maybe they're not just talking to us during June. Maybe and I would like to see it not happen in June. I would like to see this happen on the other 11 months of the year. Like someone to have the balls, or even lack thereof, to be like, you know what? I see you. And I notice that there's a huge population out there, and maybe the suicide rate or the death rate for Black trans women wouldn't be so damn high if they saw that, people were looking at them as being normal. We're normal people. There's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new. Yet everyone wants to, like, be in an uproar. Let us be seen. Let us be celebrated. And let us be protected after we're being seen. Because a lot of times they put us in the front. Like I said, that tokenization, you put us in the front. And then we're left there in the wind, and then we're now spotted, and we're now outed, or whatever the case may be, and then now we're out there for predators to pick us off, which has been happening. It's sad that there's Black trans women being murdered like a couple a week.
Lastly,
Go ahead.
lastly, I just want everyone, if anyone wants to reach out to you, Femme Fatale, where can they find you and where can they find your organization?
I'm currently working on a new community-based organization, so hopefully I'll have that up soon. But as of right now, my Instagram for gaming is BBW Femme Fatale. My modeling and everything else would be under the Perfect Poison on Instagram.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Victoria Von Blaque, for joining us and for sharing your wisdom. Be sure to follow Victoria and the Femme Fatale on social media.
Yes, guys. The next up, have a good one. No worries. Next up on the Game Awards is the Best Social in Esports, Top Player of the Year, as well as the Gaming category. Keep watching.